Hi guys, it's Uldouz and welcome to the Uldouz Show. Today I have a very special guest. His name is Josh Liljenquist and he has over 11 million followers on all social media platforms. So nice to have you today. I'm so excited to talk to you. We have so many, juicy good things to talk about. So thank you so much for joining my show today.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Sorry, it like froze there for a second.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
why. I think it might be my internet just cut out for a sec.
Okay.
Anyways, you have a few questions that you want to ask, or how do you want to start?
Okay, so basically, I wanted to see like how you grew your social media following, and along the way, have you gotten like criticism, or what have been some of the downsides of you growing like all of your followers and doing all this great work?
Yeah. So I grew up in a town of 10,000 people, and I don't know anybody in my hometown or even like the surrounding towns that do anything closely related to social media.
Yeah.
So for me to start that, it's people throw out accusations saying this and this, but when it comes to social media, you have to overlook all the negative criticism and turn that into like fuel to drive you to, to be better and do better and make a positive impact, because you don't want bad publicity, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because there's things that you have to really watch out for in terms of wording. I remember one time people accused me of like being a pedophile.
What?
Yeah, and that was because I was trying to get my followers on TikTok to go to my Instagram.
Well,
and so they turned it. They're like, mostly kids follow your TikTok account. It's mostly kids. I'm like, well, I'm just trying to grow my other platform. And they're like, no, you're targeting kids to follow your Instagram account. And I'm like, and that was a big point where I'm like, what the heck,
Yeah.
like that makes, there's absolutely like no correlation whatsoever. And so you just got to overlook that. And the people who are close to you, they obviously know that it's just they're not used to social media. They're not used to this lifestyle, right? So they just accuse me of or they accuse anybody, I guess, in doing social media, especially in like small towns and stuff, because they're closed-minded. And like even my parents, for a little bit, they were criticizing, like, you can't do this for a job, you can't do this as a career. But as social media gets bigger, you can turn it into a career.
Yeah, exactly.
And
so now that you're away from that small town, like they still reach out to you and they're like, oh my god, you're like doing all these bad things. You're like the antichrist to them.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's always going to be there. That's always going to be there. You tell me the most successful and nicest person on social media, and I'll show you a million haters that accuse him of being a bad person, doing this and this, when there's no proof. And usually social media sides with a person that is the accuser who accuses them.
Oh yeah.
And so that's how cancel culture works. They feed off of negative energy.
That makes so much sense, because I was one of the victims of the iCloud hack leak in 2014. And but I experienced like all of this hate from people on social media and people on the internet. But then also I experienced so much, actually more hate than ever, from like the people that I actually worked with, like other influencers and people that should kind of understand the public eye, but they use that as like ammo to kind of get me out of the picture, or like kind of X me out or whatever. So I'm like no longer competition or on the same like platforms or whatnot. So they went out of their way, like they will go in the comments on celebrities that I would collab with and talk shit about me in the comments. They would like go and tell everybody, like people at Instagram, people at TikTok, don't work with her because she did this to become famous and this and that. And I'm like, dude, like I'm over here like isolating myself and crying every day, and people are like making up all these crazy stories about me, you know? So it's crazy. And it's crazy how they find like ways to, even if you're a victim, to like turn you into some like crazy villain, you know? And yeah, so it's just very interesting. But I don't think you got like hate from like other influencers, right? These are like just people from like your hometown and people you know in like real life.
Yeah, when I did like when I would go out and like help people for doing nice deeds and stuff like that, I would get a few people that are in like the social media field telling me that like I'm scum for giving money out to people because I'm doing it for views, I'm doing it for this, doing it for that. You know, when in my head I could do the stuff that I've been doing way before I used to do the giving back stuff and make just as much money doing so.
Yeah,
I just enjoy going out. Yeah, I just enjoy going out and helping other people, you know.
But what's so crazy to me is like you're doing something good and they still find the like negative out of it. And then also like another thing is I like watch so many documentaries about this. And what's the name? There's one celebrity woman, I can't remember her name, but she's like blonde, Kristen Bell. So she did a documentary and she was talking about how like you know, if you actually record you doing a, you know, like you give something or, you know, do some kind of help or good in the world, and you share it, it actually inspires more people to do that same thing that you're doing, right? So basically like documenting stuff and showing it actually like, you know, makes people want to do it more too. So it's not just you doing it, it's also like inspiring other people to be as helpful and nice or whatnot, right? So like that's the whole impact of the brain and how everything works. But people will still be like, oh my god, you know, you should be doing it behind closed doors. And then even if you do it behind closed doors, it's like, how would they know? Because you're not recording it.
And I get that. That's always my response is, you know, I do it off camera. You know, if I'm going out to get a few groceries, I'll tell the clerk, I'll just say, you know, I'll pay for the person behind me as well. And then they scan the items and I pay, and, you know, I just feel better about myself. And you know, especially if it's like a woman with kids, you know, because kids are very, very expensive. So usually I try to target women with kids, so I can pay for the groceries. But yeah, I do it behind the scenes, you know. I it's not just for camera, but they don't understand that, you know. Even if I would say I do it off camera, the people that are kind of call me out for doing this for views and doing this for money and stuff like that, they wouldn't believe it. So
I know another guy that actually records everything he does, and he shows where all of the donation goes to. So he gets donations from people on social media, then he records everything and says, this is where you guys' money went. And even then, like, people know exactly where the money is going, but they're like, why are you recording this? You know, you should be just doing it because you're doing it. But that's how he gets donations from people, and he actually helps so many people around the world, right? So yeah, it's crazy how like people, they just find the negative and stuff, or they're just angry about
you gotta have very thick skin going into social media.
Very. Especially if something like negative is being said about you, and even though it's not true, like it's just so crazy. Like they really make you look like something that you're not, if they want to, you know?
And you know the truth. The people who watch my videos and actually like are fans of what I do, they understand that. And the people that don't, you know, there's nothing I can do or say to change their minds, you know? So you just got to keep moving. That's a big thing that I had to learn is, I mean, not everyone's going to be a fan of you.
I mean, that I got that like early on in my so-called social media career, you know?
Oh yeah.
So your name is I noticed that it's like Swedish, and like I grew up in Sweden, and I thought it was interesting. But do you like speak Swedish or?
I do not, but
yeah,
my grandpa can. My dad can speak a little bit of Swedish, not much, but a little bit. And we had a foreign exchange student from Stockholm.
Nice.
Yeah, so we were just there. Let's see. Geez, it's been a while now, actually. Like 6 years ago, I went to Stockholm.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
But you went in the summer, right? Like, because the summer is like when it's nice. In the winter, like everybody just goes home and they're all angry. Like, you know, it's cold, you know, it's dark, depressing, you know.
Over midsummer, actually. We celebrated midsummer there. So
yeah, that's good. But see, Swedish is like one of those languages that you don't even need to know, because the only place you really speak it is in Sweden, right? So
and even like, they don't even speak it too much.
yeah, but everybody in Sweden knows how to speak English. Like I started learning English in like the 4th grade or something like that. And the funny part was that, like, you know, you can either have like the British accent or like the American accent. So I decided like, okay, I'm gonna watch all the mob movies and like learn my English that way, you know. So so I'm like learning all these like
that's hilarious.
Everything that I knew was like from mob movies. So so I'm like,
I feel like that's the best way to learn nowadays is watching something instead of like the old-fashioned school.
yeah. Like who does that? And then I like moved to the US and I was just like speaking like a New York Italian American, you know. So everybody's like, oh my God, are you from New York? Are you Italian? And I was like, what the fuck you mean? Like,
no, do I sound Italian?
Yeah. And I'm like talking
that's
with
hilarious.
my hands, like, you know, it was just so funny.
Typical like, New Yorker.
Yeah. So I just like learned all of my English that way. And like, it's just so crazy. Like I go to San Diego State University and people are like, are you from New York? Are you Italian? And I'm like, no, what the fuck?
Oh,
like,
you went to San Diego State?
Yeah.
Did you graduate from there?
So I graduated from Stockholm University, but I went to San Diego State and like another school in Canada. So I have like my degrees like from a bunch of different places, but like I went back to Sweden, Stockholm, Sweden. So basically I started there and then I did my bachelor and my master thesis in Stockholm University. But then I took a bunch of classes here, well, San Diego, and then in Canada, and I added it back to my degree. So
oh, wow. Yeah. So you've been everywhere.
I like started from scratch so many times. I would like, you know, move to another country and only own like a mattress on the floor.
So like, what was your favorite place to live?
My favorite, I mean, it's hard. Like I think LA, but now LA is so weird, you know, like with all the stuff that's going on. But I mean, all of them were so exciting at first, and then I think you just get used to it. But I love LA because it's like the big city, and then it has like, you know, the beach, and you can go to Malibu all the time.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, but ideally, if I had the perfect city, it would be like the city of New York and the beaches of like LA and like all that kind of stuff, and the weather, you know. But I like love people from New York because they're very like straight up. So you don't like mess around like any kind of hints or anything like that.
They'll tell you how it is. They have no filter.
Yeah, but I'd rather have that than some like, you know, like someone pretending.
Someone who's not themselves around you and just tries to like, you know, be friends with you but they're really fake and the minute they get the chance, they'll talk shit behind your back.
Yeah, and then with LA, it's like constantly like, well, I don't know if it's like that in New York, but here I know for a fact it's like everything is like, oh, so what do you do? Oh, what can I get out of you? Like, or what can you do? Everything is what can you do for me, and never like, oh, can we just be friends and like just talk like normal humans? Like,
yeah, that's in Minnesota. That's where I live right now.
Yeah,
it's like that, you know.
Yeah,
I feel like LA is just a different ballgame when it comes to like social media. You know what I mean? Because everyone who lives in LA, for the most part, does social media.
Oh yeah, like,
and there's very few people in Minnesota that do.
And like people even move out here like to do social media. It's just like,
oh, I know 20 people who have moved out there.
Yeah. So it's like everything is like either dollar signs or connections or, opportunities, like, oh, give me, me,
Yep.
So
And I don't like that lifestyle, honestly. Like that's just not for me.
yeah,
I like to develop relationships with people.
Me
and
too.
and not just, the artificial fake small talk.
Yeah, so imagine like me, like I actually just want to like have friends and like be normal,
Yeah, same with me. That's why
it's so hard, and like when you're doing stuff in the public eye, even if you do like have normal friends, then eventually if they're here in LA, eventually after a while they just kind of start like, they're trying to sneak in there and try to get stuff or use it. And for me, like I always give, and then when something happens and like something, or God forbid something goes wrong, then it's like, where are all my friends? Like,
they won't be there unless they're true friends. You have very few true friends, and you can usually tell if they're true friends.
Yeah.
With the lows in your life.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
We should like start faking lows just to know like who's a real friend. Like,
let's do it. Let's do it.
Like, oh my God, I don't feel good.
I don't feel good. I lost my social media accounts.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah, everybody will be like,
they'll all be cockroaches. They'll scatter away.
Money. Can I have some money? I lost all my social media. Yeah. I'm homeless now. Can I live with you? Like they were just like,
there'd be no one that would help me out in that situation unless they're like friends that I've known since I was like 3.
Yeah. I don't think anybody would help me. Yeah, I don't. I will have to like either move out of state or like out of the country.
Move to Minnesota. You'd find some people.
Like I have to move out of my state or country to people that are actually real, like,
Yeah.
But I know for sure,
exactly.
like LA will be like, I will be on the street, like I'll be like living in a shed or something,
Well, come to Minnesota. You got a place. I got extra bedrooms. You can sleep there until you get your
well, thanks
your stuff
for the
back
offer.
together.
I'll keep that in mind if I like it's on the podcast now. So guys, if anything God forbid goes wrong, then I can move into Josh's place,
Of course you can.
I'll be like good,
Yeah. You'll never be homeless.
Yeah, well that's good. I have a lot of stuff too, so like,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I just like you said earlier, you give. That's exactly how I am.
Yeah.
Making other people happy is what brings me happiness.
Yeah. So I'm the same way, but like, there comes times where you just like, wow, like what happened, like, but then I think too, it's like, in a weird way, even though I might give to some people and they like, I don't care if they don't do anything. It's more about the hard times, like just to know like, oh, if I'm going through hard times, somebody's there and stuff like that. But like, and even then, like I wouldn't really ask for stuff because I have too much pride,
That's how I am too.
Yeah. It's like I never would ask. It's just the knowing like someone's there in my corner, like they don't have to do anything. But that's what's so crazy. Like even that is like pulling teeth, like,
it is. It's the sad truth, but like it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's better to figure it out than to learn the hard way.
Yeah, I learned the hard way, trust me. Like especially when the pandemic happened, like I had so many people pass away and I was just like, what's going on? So all the like real people that I knew, like they like passed away, and then some other people that I thought were real friends, like, other people start getting sick and I'm over in the hospital and this and that, just wanting to talk to a friend, and all of a sudden they're just like, psh. But then the good part about it was that people that I knew like for 15 years turned on me, right? Like people that I like
it's terrible
done stuff for, like, you know, been really good to 15 years, and all of a sudden they're just acting fresh on me, right? But people that I haven't been that close to got close to me during those times. So then I was just kind of like,
yep,
wow, like these are the good people right here, and I didn't even need to know them for like all this time, you know?
no, you're turning something negative into a positive. You know, you
Yeah.
learned who's there for you and who isn't.
Yeah.
It's better you learn about it now than it is later on, you know,
Yeah.
because that you could get burned by them. They could do something that just, you know, is very devastating. But if you cut them off now and say, you know, you were there for me during a low part in my life,
Yeah.
then
So cut them off sooner than later, you know, because
yep,
I waited,
figure it
like
out.
you said, I waited to devastating time, and then
Yep.
and I gave one of these girls so many passes. Like there's been so many times that I feel like God was like showing me and revealing to me, like, you know, this is who this person is. You need to let them go. And I will always be like, no, maybe, like making excuses for them.
Maybe
And
it's
then it got,
different. Maybe it's just, yeah.
yeah, and it
I've been
just got
there.
stronger and stronger and stronger to a point where it's like, oh my God, like everything is falling apart now. And like God is like, can't you see what
it's
the
time.
hell?
He's like, I thought you learned your lesson before.
Yeah. Like, you know, one time my like dog broke his arm, you know, and I was devastated. And like this girl, she just like cared about herself. So like I was just like, you know, and then it just got worse and worse and worse. So this second time around, it was like my family member was in the hospital, and she's just like all she cared about was herself. So
time to cut those people off. It's,
yeah.
if all
Like,
they care about is themselves and they only care about, you know, receiving, and if they don't truly care about you as a person, then there's no point to have them in your life. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what's the point?
What's the point?
They're using you. They're not a true friend. They're
exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've met a lot of those along the way, but also a lot of good people, you know?
Yeah. I think
that have
those
been with
good
me,
people, like, it's almost like at the same time, like God like removes people, he like puts like good people into your life. Like, you know, he like, it's like a exchange.
Yeah, it's a balance.
Yeah. I agree.
Yep.
So what are you working on now? Like what's the like goals and, you know, that kind of thing? Like you have all these followers, but like what is the ultimate goal of, like, what is your biggest dreams, and like what is yeah.
So what I've been doing recently is I want to start doing longer form videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
So right now I'm just doing sort of like reactions to like funny TikTok videos, just like reaction style, and showing my personality more than I did before.
Yeah.
And just showing them who I am and just make funny comments, you know, just joke around. And then I want to get into like public long form videos. So me going out and surprising somebody with a brand new car.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you surprise me?
Yeah. You'll be the first one as soon as everything starts to go as planned.
Yeah, I'll be like,
I'll get you a new Tesla.
Oh my God, I did not expect this.
You have to act really surprised though.
Yeah. I took 2 years of Meisner. So like, you know, my acting classes, I got a diploma in that too.
Oh, good.
I'll be like, oh my God.
You might just want to delete this part of the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's the goal though. I want to get there, but it's a long process. I built my account up to like 3.1 million subscribers right now. I'm currently at.
Wow. Your YouTube, that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. I mean, I'm like I've been building my YouTube for years, but like it's like I go and then I get so exhausted, especially with all the bullying and all the stuff I went through. Like I will go a little bit, and it's just like I get like, as soon as I start moving, they start coming like little crows, like caw, caw, and I'm like the falcon, like I'm like, let me spread my wings, you know?
Yeah, you just gotta keep doing it. You don't listen to those people, because the only reason they're doing that is because A, they're jealous, or B, they want to bring you down because they know they can't do it.
Yeah.
And
but it's like these people have millions of followers. Like they have way more followers than me. Why do they like keep worrying about what I'm doing? Like I'm like nowhere.
Oh, you're talking other social media people?
Yeah, they're the ones who like gave me the hardest time. Like
Well,
they
I
will
can
go
tell you
to
one thing, then they're not gonna go far in social media.
yeah.
You know, they're gonna hit a point where they plateau because people are gonna realize you know, this person is not truly who they say they are. Unless they're like somebody who goes out and like is a jerk to people, and that's the reason that they're big on social media.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then there's something wrong with society. But if they're just trying to be this nice person behind a computer, and then talk mean about somebody on their platform, it will catch up. You know, karma's a real thing.
I think it's not necessarily they're very sneaky, like, well, not all of them, but like they go behind the scenes and they try to sabotage stuff, but then openly too, like in the comments, like, you know. And I think the longest time, like they made me look like something because I wouldn't like say anything back, or I wouldn't like voice anything because
being the bigger person.
Yeah, I always try to be the bigger person, but then they got to a point where I'm just like, you know, like they got away with it because now some of these people have like 30 million followers, like 50 million, you know, like, and I'm over here like, what the fuck? Like they went and talk shit about me to people that work at Instagram, like the influencer department, the TikTok influencer department.
What?
Like, yeah, they wanted to make me, so I was a featured user on Musically. And when it turned into TikTok, they reached out to me. They're like, hey, we want to like make you a featured user on TikTok, right? And then these people come along, tell all these lies about me, you know, all over again. They already did it to people at Instagram. So people at Instagram removed me from like comedy page, from the popular page, from the suggestions, you know. And then they go and do this to TikTok. So I'm like, dude, they're like going like to the top people talking all this shit about me, and that's not even real, you know. And obviously I was at a point where I wasn't ready to talk about what happened to me. It took me 8 years to like get to this point, you know. So
there's something that has to be done.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is, but I know people in similar situations.
Yeah,
I know some guy, his name is JP, and he's in that same boat. The same thing happened to him.
Yeah.
And he's actually doing like he's taking like social media, like a social media company to court, Facebook.
Oh, really?
There's a lawsuit that he's filing.
Oh my God.
And he's got like 150 people behind him that are willing to go to court and testify.
Wow. Yep. So what happened? Like, what happened to him? Like, what was his story?
So this one's a little bit different, but it's still the same thing. So Facebook owns Instagram, right? So people would make fake accounts and would build their account up to the exact same number that he was at for followers. I think he's at like 30 something thousand.
Yeah.
It was the exact same, except for they would put a dot at the end and people wouldn't notice that. So they would think it was him. And then they would say, you won this competition. Just put your credit card information and I'll wire transfer you $50,000. And they would message all the people that he's following. And so like his followers lost, you know, thousands of dollars due to this, you know. And then so he tried to contact Instagram or Facebook, whatever it was, and said, you know, this is a fake account. This is not me. And a bunch of my fans have lost a ton of money.
Yeah.
And they didn't do anything about it.
That's so crazy. Like, well, what's so weird to me is like, there's no, all of these social media platforms, they don't have like a customer service number or nothing you can call. Like, and so many people are getting like hacked, or, you know, where they hack the account and then they reach out to all of these people and, you know, people that, you know, I mean, I had like 1 million people catfishing with my pictures, and and they make so much money. I'm like, damn, can you come start working with me? Because they make more money than me sometimes. I'm like, what the hell is going on? You know?
That's the crazy part. Another thing with social media when it comes to like TikTok, I've been on that platform for a very long time. So the first thing that really grinds my gears is so with the whole creator fund, they pay so exponentially small that they're profiting. So say they pay you $5 for, I think it's like 100,000 views or 150,000 views. There's somebody that worked for TikTok breaking it down, and he's like, we make like $10,000 and they pay you $5. Yes, like that's the profit margin that TikTok is getting. It's not the exact same numbers that I just said, but it's like an exponential
around there.
It's crazy. And then the second one is when it comes to like violations and stuff. So I get violated probably once a day.
That's a violation. That's what I've been hearing. Like a lot of people are getting violated, and it's like over the dumbest stuff.
Yeah, the stuff that I got violated for, it's not even in my video. Like violence, I got a violation for, and it was a picture of my dog running around. It was like, or a video of my dog running around. It's like, how is that violent?
He's violently running.
Yeah, I'm like, what the heck? And then, so then I submitted an appeal, right? Because they post banned me for a week, so I couldn't post for a week. So I submit an appeal, and I won it. So the video got put back up, right? But that posting ban still was in place for a whole week. So I couldn't post for a whole week, even though the video got put back up, and it didn't violate any guidelines.
That makes no sense. So like, what it's like they need to come up with better systems, because they rely on influencers, and then the influencers get treated like crap, basically. So like, what I noticed is when I first started, like I started posting on TikTok, because most of my followers were from Musical.ly, right? So like Musical.ly, they verified me and all that, and then it just turned into TikTok, and I'm like, oh, like, should I start again? So I started again, and then I did the whole creator fund, like you said, and then I will post, and it's like, you made 5 cents this day, and I was like, wow, like showing my friends, I'm like, I made 5 cents. Oh my God, I'm coming up, and then my friend is like, yeah, 5 cents you didn't have, and I was like, damn right, but I noticed like how little all of these. Well, the weird part with Instagram is like they do that too, and I like literally been a slave to Instagram for like 10 years now. They finally start monetizing, and then they don't like actually put my monetization up. So it says that I'm monetized, but it's like not
same
even
with me.
Coming up.
Nope,
like,
same.
And then I have another friend that posted reels, and then he like never even got the money deposited into his accounts. They're like, oh yeah, we sent it. And then Facebook, they owe me like a shit ton of money, and they haven't paid me. So I don't know. Like
I had a video, and they said they pay really well. And so I got a video at 15 million views on Reels. And I've been monetized for probably 2 months, and nothing came of it. Like I haven't gotten a message. I haven't gotten like, so I'm like, does 15 million views not correlate to payment? Or
wow, like, you got 50 million views? That's so much. Like,
no, and nothing.
They were like, no, nothing for you.
Yep.
You slave. Like,
exactly.
So then social media, like,
the biggest thing that for like monetizing and making money is Snapchat. Snapchat is where I've made the majority of my money. I'd say.
Wait, you monetize your Snap? My Snapchat isn't monetized.
Do you so do you know what Spotlight is?
No. It's
like TikTok, but for Snapchat.
Oh, really? So I can like post my videos there, and
yes,
like...
you need to, like, as soon as possible. So over the course of like, I would say 8 months. Right now, I'm sitting at around like $350,000.
What? Off of Snapchat?
In 8 months.
Kidding me? Like, okay, we need to like hop off the podcast. You need to like teach me all this stuff. This is crazy. Like, what's so crazy to me is like I slaved for 10 years and people think like, oh my God, you know, there's so much money. So the way you actually make your money from social media is through like brands, you know? Well, mostly for me, because all these years, like Facebook didn't pay, Instagram didn't pay, and I was at Vine didn't pay anything. That's why everybody left, right? And now like TikTok kind of like forced Instagram and all these other platforms to start paying a little bit more, and obviously YouTube too. But the amount of pay that they actually give you is like microscopic compared to what they make, right? So they just actually like have us work, and then
sick.
So like even if people are like getting minimum wage, they will make a lot more than what social media influencers would through the actual platforms. So isn't that like a little bit against the law? I didn't even think about that. So they're not even paying us.
Yeah, you would think there would be something against that, because the amount of money we're making now is crazy.
Yeah, like wait a minute, we're not even getting minimum wage. We're just getting like a whole day full work is like 5 cents. Like what?
Yeah, I figured out how to monetize like probably a year ago. So through YouTube. Do you know what YouTube Shorts is?
Yeah.
So I do that, and then I get around 250 million views a month.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I max out the Shorts fund, which pays $10,000 a month. So that's every single month. That's like almost guaranteed, unless I don't post.
Why isn't that weird? Don't you think that they cap out on how much you can make? So it's like,
yeah, I do.
And TikTok does the same, right? Don't they? Like,
no, I don't think there's like a cap, but like they pay so low where there doesn't even like need to be a cap.
Because somebody told me there's a cap of $10,000 on TikTok too. So if like someone like has 80 million followers, they still are gonna make like only 10,000.
Maybe there is. Yeah. I've never earned that in a month, so I'm not sure. Yeah. I only earn like a couple $1,000s a month from TikTok.
They make it so hard for you to get to that number anyway.
They do. It's just dumb. There's no point to. I don't rely on it. So. Yeah.
And imagine if you actually make it to 10,000, you're like, hell yeah, I have 80 million followers and made 10,000. And then you find out about the cap.
Like, there probably is. Like, that's some snake stuff. Like, that's crazy. So I have multiple videos with like 25, 30 million views on TikTok.
Yeah.
And that video, I think, made me like $1,200 for 30 million views.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And like with YouTube too, it's so weird because like you might post something and it's just me talking and it says limited, like
yeah, they limit the ads on it, which yeah, and there's nobody to hold them accountable for that. You know what I mean?
So like there needs to be like a social media police, like
I agree.
Detective, like going around. Like we should start a company like.
We should.
Social media police.
Like make laws that you can and can't do stuff
on social media. Yeah, well, I'm already like working on making laws against hackers and stuff. We might as well do the social media stuff too, you know?
Yeah, or just make a different platform that's actually like for the creators and not for making money.
Oh yeah, you know, I actually had that idea. I was gonna do an app that like the creators will make like 80% or like 85, somewhere around there. And it's like the video views and everything got monetized. And somebody I know like kind of talked me out of it like years ago. He was a producer and I should never have talked to him because like that would have been so good right now. And plus,
yeah, it would have.
But he was kind of telling me already, like, I think the bigger platforms are going to start monetizing and then they won't move over to like actually those type of platforms. But I still believe that if social media influencers made a platform, moved all of their followers to another platform, like where all of us will make all of the money, not all of the money, but most of it, that will make so much sense. So even if somebody made an app like that, it's still like
I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, right?
Really good idea, because right now we're just getting screwed over by the companies. Like
Because they're getting money from the advertisers anyways. Like, why?
Majority. It's not even like the creators are getting very, very, very minimal compared to what the company itself makes. And there are expenses, but like realistically, the amount of money they're making can pay the expenses that they have times a million.
Yeah, we should like reach out to Mark Cuban and be like, Mark Cuban, we need to make something.
I agree. Let's go on Shark Tank.
Yeah, let's do it. Well, like I can hit up that Damon guy, see if he can get us on.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's start it like a social, because there's nothing for the creators. Like YouTube,
we get treated like crap. Like people don't realize it. They're like, oh, they're having all these followers. Life must be so nice. And like, here's this other side of it. Like, oh, I'm getting hacked and like digitally raped and trafficked and like, you know, all these horrible things
terrible.
Happening. Yeah.
I always think it's like the, you know, living the life as an influencer, but realistically, it's stressful, very stressful.
And another thing that I noticed is like, okay, so I've been slaving for like 10 years. Like I've been like doing YouTube collabs, Vine collabs, like Instagram collabs, collabing with celebrities. I mean, I've done music videos. I've done actual like print modeling, acting, like writing, like all of this work, right? For 10 years of slavery from my freaking followers. And then you get some like random person at a company that's like, oh yeah, must be fake.
You're gonna get that. It's just these people.
And you're like, what the hell? Do you see how much work I've been doing for like 10 years? Like
they'll never acknowledge that.
Do you, like,
I've learned that they'll never acknowledge the work you put in.
Yeah.
But they'll criticize you every chance they get.
But what's so crazy is like, so you just think I did all this work for all these 10 years and nobody seemed to follow me from all of those videos and content that I like created over this whole 10-year span, you know, like it's just so mind blowing to me, like how people can like, what do you call it? Not criticize, but like minimize.
Everything. Right. Your work.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets to the point where I just ignore it now.
Yeah, just,
you know, I don't even like, it doesn't even get me worked up anymore because it's like they don't know, you know, a thing about me.
Yeah, that's true. You don't have to prove anything to anyone.
No, I don't.
You're Josh freaking Liljenquist.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
I like
I have to prove it to myself.
Yeah,
it's the only one I have to prove it to.
Yeah. So anyways, I think we've been like a little bit over, but thank you so much for doing this show. And like, can you tell everybody where they can find you? And if you have anything else you want to like tell the followers and everybody, you know, if you have any website or social media platforms, where can everybody find you?
Yeah, so it's Josh, so my first name, and then the first 4 letters of my last name, which is Lilj.
Okay.
On every social media platform.
Okay.
But no, thank you so much for inviting me. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I know. And we're gonna have to get on the phone so you can like help me with the other stuff too, because I'm like,
give me a call whenever.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna call you like in the middle of the night. I'm like, hi, I'm over here looking.
Do it. I don't care. I'll help you out.
Cool. All right. Well, you're my new friend now, so
awesome. So I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye. Take care.
You too. Bye.